You can write a check, you can put cash in. Some people even put gambling chips in the offering plate. I'm not kidding. Because it's really giving not only to his church, it's giving to the Lord. So Dr. Lynn, would you scripture on your heart, whatever's in your heart, because you're my mentor. Do whatever you want.
The Lord shared with me the word stewardship. You know, Paul the Apostle thought very highly of stewardship of his calling and ministry. Let's pray. Let's believe, God, that our vision will even expand and extend and do more effectively than ever before. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you for the privilege of being part of this great work right here at ICLV.
And the buckets are going to go around the aisles. Go ahead and give as the Lord leads your heart.
All right, man, we in this thing, man, Saturday morning. I want to get on a little bit earlier than this, but we here, man. So, yeah, man, the De La Hoya, you know, and people was talking about, well, where did you get the information that the fight with Ortiz and, you know, Boots was almost done? If you watch the video, which you just watch it and didn't listen to it, you would see on the screen that Vergil Ortiz manager said, you know, he basically was alluding to on Instagram, they struck a deal. Now, Oscar De La Hoya, he touches on that in this video. So I'm gonna let De La Hoya cook. Then we'll let Eddie Hearn cook on what he said first. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video. Want to support the channel, share the video. I appreciate that. But Cash App, Venmo, CJ Good 313. PayPal links in the description. I appreciate y'all for that. And let's get to it. All right, I ain't want to waste no time. Let's get to Oscar.
Happy New Year, man. I've been busy this week finalizing the Ryan Garcia Barrios fight, and details will be announced on Monday. I'm really excited to be working with PBC and Al Heyman. Look, we have a lot of great matchups to be made as the U.S. top promoters, so I'm looking to keep the fights here in the U.S. In the meantime, Eddie Hearn is begging the media for this Boots and Vergil Ortiz fight. It's so stupid as a promoter to pigeonhole your fighter into one opponent. You lose your negotiating power, which ends up being a lot of lost money for your fighter. Also, every time a manager tries to be a hero and negotiate behind the promoter's back, they lose money for the fighter. And at the same time, violate the Muhammad Ali Act. And you know what? I'm gonna start sending legal letters enforcing this because I'm fucking tired of it. Some managers are just full of shit and I will be exposing them, trust me. Look, Vergil can fight 2 or 3 different guys in mega fights. He's got options. Imagine him with Errol Spence at Dallas Cowboys Stadium, or Sebastian Fundora in a mega fight in Vegas. Boots is part of the plan, but it doesn't have to be next. But Eddie, since you're so desperate to make this fight, then let's do this. 60-40 for Vergil and 5% to the winner. Because I'm generous. And I'm not moving off those numbers. You're the one who's begging for this fight. So let's go.
And just let you tell you, De La Hoya sit here and he criticizes, you know, everybody, you know, else talking about what real boxing and what boxing needs and all this. This is the same thing PBC does. You know what I'm saying? They sit here and they protect the fighter, you know, that doesn't need to protect. The Vergil Ortiz don't do no numbers. You know, and that's just the fact of the matter. Vergil Ortiz doesn't do any numbers. Vergil Ortiz last fight didn't turn a profit. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I don't really get it. You know, at the end of the day, y'all had ample enough time to make the Spence fight the last couple of years. It didn't happen. Y'all had enough time to make and that fight won't sell any. That won't be no big seller. You had plenty enough time to make the Sebastian Fondor fight. And what it boiled down to is Terrence Crawford got these niggas shook. Terrence Crawford got these guys shook. These Mexicans, they don't want to compete against black fighters, and that's fine. Unless they all beat up or they know they're going to win, a la Lubin, a la Errol Spence. And De La Hoya is just a pussy. You know what I'm saying? They sit here and they talk shit about other, you know, fighters not fighting, putting their fighters in with the best. He's a pussy, you know, from Floyd Schofield to Ryan Garcia to Vergil Ortiz to Canelo Alvarez and Eric Gomez coming out in a minute that they avoided black fighters for Canelo Alvarez and they didn't mean for him to fight Erislandy Lara. They scared of niggas, you know what I'm saying? And when they have a certain fear of fighting black fighters, there's also admiration. And that's where racism and bigotry come from, is that they just mad because they can't be us. That's it. They look at you and be like, how are you so strong? How are you so confident? How are they so good? And that's why De La Hoya always tried to be like Floyd Mayweather, try to train with his father and all that type of shit. He's a mark. And you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you keep fights in the United States or you kill them in Saudi Arabia, because the whole thing is, you know, just like the Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrio fight, what y'all gonna announce a fight 6 weeks out? What does it matter? If y'all not properly gonna make fights and also make fights outside of the New York or the Vegas or the Texas or the California, what do we care? What do we care? Y'all not even trying to exploit new markets: Atlanta, Chicago, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana. You know, even y'all not even trying to exploit markets that don't have professional football teams like Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? You know, they used to do fights in Alaska, Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't even matter if you keep fights here or you take fights abroad. It doesn't matter because y'all going to the same venues with a 4 to 6 week notice. So basically, you're putting the fight on for the media and the locals in Vegas. You putting the fight on for the media and the locals in New York City. You know, it's a local fight. Even when y'all do shit in Florida, you know what I'm saying? Y'all should be flopping in Florida. Why not try to do something in Georgia? Why not try to do something in the Carolinas? Why not try to do something on Myrtle Beach? It's the same old, same old. You talking about I finalized the Ryan Garcia fight with 6 weeks? With 6 weeks left? Unless Ryan Garcia is fighting a nigga, it don't even matter. Let's keep it a beam. Ryan Garcia don't do no numbers unless he fighting a brother. And then even before he fought Tank and before he fought Devin Haney, it wasn't even, the Mexicans didn't support Ryan Garcia until it became a biracial pride. But I'm going to talk about that in another video in the near future. You know what I mean? So with De La Hoya is just showing you their true colors. And I was listening to YSM. He had Coach Reg on there. He was like, well, I think Vergil Ortiz want to fight. No, the fuck Vergil Ortiz don't want to fight, because the promoter worked for Vergil Ortiz. And Vergil Ortiz can tell Oscar De La Hoya, hey, that's the fight that I want. Just like Boots is telling Eddie, hey, that's the fight that I want. So he's talking about don't pigeonhole your fighter into one fight, you lose money. At the end of the day, if Boots and them struck a deal with the Zone, why are we talking about a 60-40 split? With 5%, which this cokehead Backdooria fishnet high heel wearing Backdooria ninja is don't even know math. How we gonna do a 60-40 split and the winner get 5%? Like, get out of here. Vergil, this is what I'm talking about. They're not just protecting a Mayweather or a Pacquiao or Sugar Ray Leonard. Vergil Ortiz don't do any type of tangible numbers. Find his gate numbers. Find his real numbers on any network he fought. Don't nobody care about Vergil Ortiz. And that's the problem in boxing. They protecting everybody like they precious. They protect everybody like they're a cash cow. They not a cash cow. Vergil Ortiz, don't nobody give a fuck about what he do. And niggas always trying to cop out the fighter. And there's no disrespect to Coach Reg, but we already know he didn't want to fight. The daddy was talking about, no, we not doing this. We not doing that. And if I'm the Zone, you put the motherfuckers on the shelf. I will cut my contract off with Golden Boy. What else do they have to offer? Because Ryan Garcia about to go fight probably on PBC. You know what I'm saying? So why, and allegedly it's Ryan Garcia's last fight. So if I'm the zone, I would cut my ties with Oscar De La Hoya. You don't need Oscar or Eddie Hearn. Did y'all see the numbers, the ticket numbers for Sabril Matias fight versus Dalton Smith at the Barclays Centers this Saturday? Man, Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya and PBC is cooked. Now all of a sudden they want to work together. Don't nobody give a fuck about no Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia. Oh, we got 2 or 3. I don't care nothing about them. You had ample enough time to fight Sebastian Fondor. Y'all have not done it. And if Fondor and Vergil Ortiz fight, they ain't gonna do no numbers neither. Don't nobody care about Fondor fighting. Don't nobody care about Vergil Ortiz fighting. My thing is this: Mexicans just had their own league, and niggas had their own league, and brothers had their own leagues. I don't really understand that. Y'all do y'all thing, we do our thing. We gonna see who rise to the top. Without urban flavor, man, sports ain't shit. Every sport that don't have urban flavor in America, it doesn't thrive. National Hockey League, Major League Baseball, it doesn't thrive. Without urban, nobody give a fuck about swimming. You know what I'm saying? Nobody care about golf until Tiger Woods came into golf. And if Tiger Woods was a full agent or a full Brad, nobody would continue to care about golf. Without Venus and Serena and Billie Jean King and Arthur Ashe and, other than that, nobody give a fuck about tennis. If it wasn't for Simone Biles, the motherfuckers wouldn't be tapping in about no fucking gymnastics. If it wasn't for the Jamaicans, if it wasn't for the Black Americans running in track, and give a fuck about seeing Brad and Becky running in track, bro. Any other slow athletic motherfuckers in track and field, some of the dudes might watch to see some ass, but man, most of them bitches ain't really built like that. Every now and again, you get bitch from Australia built like something, bitch from a little white chick from South Africa. Other than that, man, you look at the build of a woman in track and field. Other than without the brothers and the sisters, and we just keeping it a bean. Care about seeing Ling and lead backflip and shit and do tripod flips and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Every sport damn near around America, around the world, if it don't involve us, nobody give a fuck about it. That's why people don't care shit about fucking soccer. It's a boring ass sport. Them motherfuckers just run up and pickleball didn't pass soccer in America. So at the end of the day, cool. They should allow black fighters and the blacks to do their own thing in boxing. And Hispanics, y'all do your own thing. Take y'all juicing, cheating ass, throwing under the seat, covering y'all cheating ass up. Y'all cheat and y'all still barely can compete. All the steroids y'all be taking, performance enhancing drugs y'all taking, all the racist innuendos y'all motherfuckers be saying, all that shit y'all put through the media when they come to, I got a video coming. Lomachenko could retire with losing every big damn fight that he was in, right? With a lot of unfinished business. The division finally got with names. Tank actually wanted to fight. All of a sudden, his coochie hurt, his back hurt. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, you get a young Abdullah Mason. They come to fight Shakur Stevenson. It come to Keyshawn Davis getting the belt. It come to Andy Cruz come over. And Shockey Foster right around there. And the division started to heat up. And then Lomachenko talking about, I lost motivation. Fuck out of here. Nigga got 400 amateur fights, 2 gold medals. And all of a sudden, you lose motivation. When the division get hot. Got beat up by Devin Haney, beat up by Orlando Salido, beat up by weak-ass Teofimo Lopez, and all of a sudden, when it's time to redeem yourself, you get out. But nobody questions his retirement. Nobody says in his retirement that, he's playing victim. You know what I'm saying? Nobody criticized Lomachenko for when it was time to go to war when Usyk and the rest of them niggas like Ivan Radcast was suited and booted up, and he fled to Greece and only came back to fight when Ivan Radcast called him out on Twitter. And that just lets you know how it goes in the media. Yeah, they got mad at Big Baby Miller for having all types of steroids and this shit, but they swept that whole Eddie Reynoso camp under the table. You know, they swept T.O. being racist under the table. They swept Ryan being racist under the table. They sweep fucking Shaquille Stevenson being a coon under the table. That's why T.O. and Shaquille don't sell nothing. You got a dude that made reading rainbow community comments after the Jaron Ortiz fight. He made all these racial monkeys and niggers, and he said all that shit on camera. You know, and then you got Shakun, who nobody fuck with. He boring. You know what I'm saying? He boring as hell. And he a self-hating ass nigga. He let Lomachenko slide without fighting him. Oh, Loma to go. Oh, Fury is better than Muhammad Ali. Oh, Sugar Ray Robertson is buns. But this nigga that never seen Marvin Hagler fight, and he from Jersey. They both from Jersey. So who gonna get behind that? Nobody fucking with Shakur Stevenson. He's a self-hating, coon-ass nigga, and T.O. a racist-ass motherfucker. And you look at Ryan Garcia, you know what I'm saying? He lost all that. So what he trying to do is get these coon-ass bitches on his channel like Blueface, Whack 100, Krishan Rock, India Love. At least she stayed on code. Why the fuck y'all even going over there? He called y'all all this racial shit he called y'all. And that's why Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios won't sell. Because unless Ryan is going against a black fighter, and that just shows you the racism and the bigotry and the jealousy of a lot of Hispanic boxing fans. And I'm not saying all Hispanics, but I'm talking about y'all know the ones I'm talking about. You know, it's a lot of them like De La Hoya, who from East LA, who's a racist. Eric Gomez is a racist. Stevie Kim is a racist. You know, Dougie Fisher, he's a self-hating ass nigga that be with them. That's why I don't fuck with them niggas. You feel what I'm saying? I remember all that shit back in the day. A lot of y'all niggas just got y'all feet wet in this boxing shit. Nigga, I've been around for a hot minute since this shit started. Excuse me, 1 second.
Yeah, don't be scared to talk to that bitch that you were trying to talk to. Don't ever underestimate your shit. Ever. Yo, him, bro. Don't ever underestimate your shit. Don't be scared to talk to that woman that you always been wanting to talk to. Go ahead, talk your shit, and you good. Don't ever back down. Alright, peace.
Yeah, all that shit they say. I don't forget that, dog. Ain't no forgiveness. A lot of these niggas on the internet forgave him, and oh, he cool. We had a conversation. Ain't no conversation that can make me forget about all that stuff. And like I was saying, you know, about this clown ass dude, man, he'll sit here and he'll call out other fighters when they don't, you know, produce the fights. But when it comes to his own stock of fighters, they all clowns. They all avoid titles. They've admitted to avoiding certain styles of fighters. Don't talk to me about that. Oh, what's the best for boxing? Or we trying to move boxing forward? Or we trying to be the Super Friends and the Avengers mixed together and work together? Nah, y'all should have worked together 20 fucking years ago. Well, you remember what happened when y'all did work together like 20 years ago? You got finessed out of a whole country a whole fucking company because you couldn't stay clean. But your finessio company started De La Hoya when you went to rehab and talked all that shit about Canelo beating Mayweather and you left him hanging. That was the destruction of Golden Boy. Because you couldn't keep yourself clean. And then while you was in and out of rehab, they took the company from you. You know what I mean? And guess what? What have you learned? You learned absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Can't keep Canelo, couldn't keep Canelo, couldn't keep Ryan Garcia happy, can't keep nobody happy over there. And then when the zone come to making the fight in the zone, honestly, the zone should get rid of them. You know, they're not bringing nothing, man. The zone is handcuffing themselves, you know, to mediocrity by dealing with Eddie Hearn and having to deal with Matchroom and having to deal with Oscar De La Hoya. What you need a deal for? Where else they gonna run to? You can make fights on a fight-by-fight basis. Therefore, they would have to do what you say do. Other than that, where Eddie Hearn gonna go to? He fucked over Sky Sports. They might fuck with him again. Where De La Hoya going to? If Top Rank can't get a TV deal, well, how can De La Hoya? He gonna go back to Facebook Watch. He ain't got a handful of mark-ass fighters anyway. Real talk. When it come to making shit like, when it come to making basic shit like this, well, I mean, you don't believe in Vergil Ortiz. 60-40 based on what has Vergil Ortiz done? He don't sell. Mexicans in the comment section, y'all don't support him or nothing like that. And then he got to the point, and I'm gonna play it again.
Yo, what's up, guys? Happy New Year, man. I've been busy this week finalizing the Ryan Garcia Barrios fight, and details will be announced on Monday. I'm really excited to be working with PBC and Al Heyman. Look, we have a lot of great matchups to be made as the U.S. top promoters, so I'm looking to keep the fights here in the U.S. In the meantime, Eddie Hearn is begging the media for this Boots and Vergil Ortiz fight. It's so stupid as a promoter to pigeonhole your fighter into one opponent. You lose your negotiating power, which ends up being a lot of lost money for your fighter. Also, every time a manager tries to be a hero and negotiate behind the promoter's back, they lose money for the fighter. And at the same time, violate the Muhammad Ali Act. And you know what? I'm gonna start sending legal letters enforcing this because I'm fucking tired of it.
All right, so you heard him. So he was talking about Rick Merrigan. So Rick Merrigan is Vergil Ortiz's manager. He was saying online that he struck a deal with the Zone. He basically was alluding to him striking the deal on the Zone. And if you watch the video that I did and you seen the screen, I put the screenshots on the video. I know most people listen to the video, right? And he pretty much said that they basically came to a financial agreement with the Zone. Now he was going back and forth saying that, Oscar De La Hoya, Eric Gomez wasn't really, I'm paraphrasing, fighting hard enough for Vergil Ortiz money, and that he went behind, basically that if they didn't speak up, he was going to speak up, and he was speaking up on the behalf of his fighter against a report that Dan Rafael had. So Dan Rafael, he pretty much said that the Zone was forcing him to fight, and then Rick Merrigan basically was saying they can't force us to do nothing. Our contract, we can do pretty much do other things. We don't have to be basically put a walk the plank and have to fight Vergil Ortiz. If they want us to fight Vergil Ortiz, give us the money that we owed and all this type of stuff. Reportedly, they wanted $10 million or whatever. And he says that we know other fighters on the Zone that they pay money like that, and who ain't is more valuable. I'm paraphrasing, the Vergil Ortiz. And they turn around and they like, he turns around yesterday, and he pretty much says that basically that they struck a deal with the Zone. Now Oscar De La Hoya is saying that Rick went behind their back and struck a deal, and that he violated the Muhammad Ali Act, which is just really, it's pussy shit. Muhammad Ali Act don't really protect nobody. They find loopholes, just like Al Heyman did with PBC. They find loopholes around that, right? They find loopholes around that. These fighters still getting jive turkey, still getting robbed for their money and stuff. And for the most part, he's basically going at Rick Merrigan for negotiating behind. He's going at Rick Merrigan, basically, for going behind their back and striking the deal because they don't want to make the fight. Look here, nobody involved wants to make the fight. Eddie Hearn don't want to make. Vergil Ortiz, Rick Merrigan don't want to make the fight. You know what I'm saying? Vergil Ortiz don't want to make the fight. His daddy said it long ago. None of them want to fight. They do not want this fight. After what they seen happen to, Canelo Alvarez, after what they seen happen with a number of fights where they fucking Hispanic brethrens getting their ass, putting belt on their ass, they don't want to fight. So this is what his manager put up the other day, which if you watch the video, I put it on the screen. He said people make real moves out here in anticipation for Ortiz in his ticket. So he's alluding to the fight is going to happen. I don't know what that couple got something to do with it. He said, always know your value, defend it outside the ring as in it. So basically he's alluding to the fact that they got the fight done. Now my thing is this, right? What value? These motherfuckers don't have no value. I just don't really understand the fact of the matter is when they acting like Vergil Ortiz. Everybody think they're a superstar. I don't know if you ever heard the saying in Atlanta where everybody in Atlanta think they're a superstar. So if you was to see Gucci or Jeezy at the mall, it's like just seeing a lawyer or a regular 9-to-5 ninja at the mall. Everybody in Atlanta, was a saying, think they're a superstar, think they're a celebrity, right? Okay. This the same thing in boxing. Everybody think they worth something, and this shit is crashing, bro. The last network that's really dishing out money to the rest of these peasant ass promoters, and Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya, who can't sell out a family dinner in my Errol Spence voice, right? And they gonna fuck up the last thing they got left. They gonna fuck the money up with the zone. They gonna mess the money up with the zone. If I'm the zone, I just cash them out, get rid of both of them. What do you need them for? Where else can they run to? Either you gonna give me the fight that I want, or you can go elsewhere. You can go on. The Tubi don't even want these niggas, man. Vergil Ortiz has no value in the sport of boxing, bro. Never won a world title, never sold nothing out, can't sell at the house, couldn't sell out Ryan Garcia's backyard. He has no value. Only value who got is to the pussification of boxing. He's a pussy, bruh. He's a pussy. That's it. When Vergil Ortiz got confronted by Jaron Ennis, he showed you right then and there, nigga, he backed down, bro. Mexicans should just fight Mexicans at this point. Y'all motherfuckers just fight y'all and let black people fight black people. Y'all can have Brad, Hispanic Hector, Hispanic Puerto Rican nigga. Y'all can have all of them and see how long y'all last. Won't nobody come to them motherfucking fights at all. That nigga's a mark. I keep telling y'all that, bruh. It's a reason why in July it'll be 10 years before 10 years of his career. He ain't never competed for a title. He's a pussy, nigga. He could have fought Crawford. Pussy. Waited for Crawford to lead the division and then started talking about fighting Crawford. Then a couple months ago, he started talking about, well, I don't know how much longer I can make 54. He's a pussy. I keep telling y'all niggas, man. Keep telling y'all. And then when the Flair Cobbs came out and said that this dude was on the juice, right? He got in his pussy ass feelings and sent a cease and desist. And then what happened to Blair the Flair Cobbs? They ostracized him and cut him from Golden Boy. For this whole ass nigga, this is not the face of Mexican boxing. This is not the face of overall boxing. This is the face of a motherfucker who nickel and dime to get as much money as he can before he get exposed out of boxing. If you ain't taking no juice, you ain't taking no juice. Is he drug testing? I ain't never heard about this nigga drug testing. I don't remember. And if he was so willing to fight Jaron Ennis last year, around this time they were supposed to fight last February, what's the problem of getting in the ring right now? And this is why Turkey won't come in and get involved in this fight because, Boots talking about, I want to tune up first. And Turkey like, man, call me when you want some real shit. Call me when you want some real nigga shit, man. This dude arguably lost his last two fights. The two before that. Mazaliev, he lost. And if you know how to score a fight, you can't give up the first 7 rounds and not get a knockdown the next 5 or 2 knockdowns and win a fight. We talking about off the point system. So many people got an opinion and don't got a scorecard. Crazy, right? So to me, it's sad. It's pathetic. Hold on real quick. It's sad and pathetic. They don't even got heart no more, bro. We don't even have heart no more. If it was ever a time for some country to come in and colonize and about put hands to foot on America, it's coming time close. Man ain't men no more, bro. These hoes got more heart than the dudes, bro. And that's word to the mother, man. It's word to my mother, son. These hoes got more heart than these men. Clarissa Shields got more heart than 99.9% of these fighters, bro. Word is bond, kid.
Any updates on Vergil versus Boots?
No, is the answer. I mean, we kind of wait in hope, I guess. Like, we keep being told that things are progressing, but then we don't really get anywhere. You know, we will have to make a move. So Boots is due to fight at the end of March. Could that go to April? Maybe. We don't want it to, but we've got to make our own moves. With all due respect to Vergil Ortiz, he doesn't have anything other than people saying he might be the best 154 in the world. And that's the same for Jaron as well. That's why the fight makes so much sense, because he's the best be the best. But it's not like he's a champion and, you know, we have to kind of sing to his tune. We're being as courteous as we can.
Yeah.
But sooner or later, we have to make another move. But it would be a very sad day for boxing if Vergil Ortiz doesn't take that fight. Because everyone knows that's the best fight in American boxing right now.
And he got a point. This is why the shit is dead. This is why the shit is dead. He has an excellent point that because, you know, everything that Vergil Ortiz is talking about is hypothetical. Now, if it's a point where they come to the zone and say, well, us and PBC got a deal together to do the Sebastian Pandora fight. Okay, that's cool. It's still not going to be as big as the Jaron Boots Ennis fight, right? But that's something y'all could have did in the previous year or two. Y'all could have did that particular fight. It did not happen. So why would, you know, PBC be so inclined to happen right now? And Keith Thurman just did an interview, and I watched some of it. I can't remember who he did it with. He just did an interview. I want to say maybe it was with Pro Box or Boxing Scene or something like that. And he's still saying that, you know, telling him to stay prepared and stay ready because it's going to be an announcement coming up. So guess what? Sebastian Pandora isn't even available right now. So Pandora is available right now. Kelly and Mazalian fight in a week or two, right? Errol Spence, like, come on, man. Errol Spence is in a doghouse. So even if you did fight Errol Spence next, I mean, what do you get out of it? It's not going to sell. I guarantee you that fight is not going to sell what they think they're going to sell. So all the options that you said, even if you say, okay, I'll strap my nuts on and fight Mazalian, you thinking about, you know, Mazalian, maybe, you know, you got to give him 3 months to recover plus another. So you probably talking about fighting. You ain't probably talking about fighting into the summertime. If you're talking about fighting Pandora, you ain't probably talking about to the fall or to the winter. So, I mean, what other options does he have? But only thing it boils down to is that he's a pussy, man. I keep telling y'all that. He's a pussy. And unfortunately, the Mexican fan base, they condone pussyism. They condone it, bro. They need to be condemning it. They condone it, bro. They don't hold their fighters accountable, bro. They on this silent code and shit like that because they know they tired of seeing their fighters get their ass whooped. All they do historically is get their ass beat. Every big fight down there they've been in, they get their ass whooped. Every now and again, you get a Roger and a motherfucking Chavez, and you get a Chavez and a Mildred Taylor, which he shouldn't even have won that fight, right? But, you know, historically, you getting that Frankie Randall treatment that he put on Chavez and still had to rob him in a rematch. So you looking at this shit, right? You know, and you surprised that, you know, Oscar De La Hoya couldn't get, or Eddie Hearn couldn't get these guys this belt that a Barroso has, who's fighting Xander Zayas pretty soon. So Zayas, you know, or Barroso, one of them gonna have 2 belts. Vergil been sitting up on Fondor for the interim belt for a year. He fighting Vergil Ortiz. I mean, he fighting Keith Thurman. Don't nobody want to fight Mazalian. And like I said, I'd agree with this comment on the screen. I'd agree with this comment that this brother just said. Hold on. This is a square business comment. Boots just need to fight Mazalian for the belt at this point. That's the only way he's going to get these guys to fight. These dudes are soft. And that just has to happen. But then again, if he coming back March and April, all right, that means that him and Mazalian will have to fight late fall, early winter. Do you wait until the summertime and try to make and see, hopefully, let's say Mazalian can pack Cali up in a couple rounds, then maybe you can get it done in June or July. You know what I'm saying? Or does he work for Barroso, who fighting in January, and Xander Zayas, which the word on the street is MSG actually wants to do do Zayas and Jaron Ennis. But then again, it's back to Anthony Jones' theory. If Zayas get 2 belts, Boots needs to go get that belt versus Mazaliev. But the thing about Boots, they don't know if he can take a punch because his brothers couldn't take a punch. So you going in versus Mazaliev, it's going to have to be a camp of defense. And it's hard to get an offensive juggernaut to learn to defend like Boots Ennis. Boots Ennis get clipped by one of them shots that Mazaliev can hit with. And then again, he had a broken hand versus Tim Tszyu. But then again, Tim Tszyu wasn't 100% recovered. So we seeing what he going to do versus Josh Kelly. If he shows that power versus Josh Kelly, that's a danger. But also, if Ennis is going to fight Vergil Ortiz, that continues to be a danger and an indictment on, can Ennis take a punch? And that's the thing about the fight. Can Ennis take a punch? Mazaliev is going to answer. Any of these fighters is going to answer that question outside of Zayas. I haven't seen Abbas Barrow fight. But at that point, if Zayas get 2 belts, then it makes sense that he needs to make that fight with Mazaliev and take that risk. You know what I'm saying? He needs to take that risk. But then again, there was rumors, before Fondor fight Lubin, that Mazaliev knocked that hoe out, knocked Fondor out in camp. So this ain't nothing new. This is why PBC buried Mazaliev on undercards and didn't showcase him on main card. He's been buried on multiple PBC undercards. But, Boots can't get mad at Vergil Ortiz for not taking a risk, and he not willing to go take a risk versus Mazaliev. And that's just the God honest truth. Who knows? If I guarantee you this, I bet my bottom dollar on it. I bet my bottom dollar. If Josh Kelly upset Mazaliev, watch how quick Vergil Ortiz try to run over there and fight him. Watch how quick. Black Jericho salute. They just not finalizing the fight. He said they keep trying to use Spence' name to raise up Ortiz is pathetic. How you calling somebody out who's basically retired? Yeah, Spence is done. Spence is on the pine. He's in our doghouse. You know what I'm saying? Just like they fought a faded Lubin. I think Lubin took a dive or he done. What's going on, Jay Hardaway? Lean. So I told somebody the other day that the Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden was them boys cared boys. Nobody cared about Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco. Like, no. Mark McGuire only became, popular because Sammy Sosa. When Sammy Sosa had that melanin, it was just him and Sammy Sosa carrying baseball with their home run derby. That's all it was. Real talk. Don't nobody care about that's one thing about baseball, that's one thing about baseball. They will rather baseball take a back seat to the majority of. They would rather the baseball take a back seat to all the sports before they modernize it with black people. They don't want black people in They don't want black people in baseball. They don't want black people in baseball because they feel like that's all they got left. They don't mind putting they don't mind putting the Caribbean people in there. And when you watch baseball, you be looking, oh, here, bro. No, man, they go there to the Bahamas and to Haiti and these countries and get them a bag of rice and a couple dollars for them guys. But baseball, even when you look at travel baseball, they don't want the best athletes in baseball. They don't want niggas in baseball. I feel like that's the last thing they got left. You got to remember, white people created basketball, black people took it over. So I don't know how they fund baseball, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you, if the feds looked how they fund baseball, it's some fishy activity. Ain't no money in baseball, but it's America's favorite pastime, so they got it. They got to keep it afloat. They'd rather die before they really make it popular by putting black people in it. Same thing with hockey. They don't want black people in hockey because they were dominated. But every sport in America, and I feel like around the world, that's popular is because of black people. Keep telling y'all that shit, man. Racism and bigotry, it comes from a place of confused admiration. That's all it is. Especially when you confident, you good at what you do, you're going to get hate. If you a knuckle dragger and you a slacker at the job or something like that, and you black, they expect that. They will keep you around longer if you a knuckle dragger, if you a bare minimum average worker black. But if you're fantastic at what you do, they will try to knock you off your pivot. They will try to get you fired quicker when you a confident black person. And that's the difference between, not to kind of get off key too much, that's the difference between black women losing jobs and black men keep retaining jobs. That's one of the big difference of it. So it's other differences too why they not getting hired at the rate they should get hired at. But one of the big differences is the fact that we understand, we got a target on our back when we go into place of employment. We know we got to be 10 times more accomplished. We got to do the job 10 times better than the average person at the job. But also that puts us in a position to be a target and get fired. That people will try to get a rise out of us, or people will try to demote us and move us around and change our schedules and try to knock us out our pivot and put more work on our workload, try to withhold information from us so we can fail at the job and not train you the proper way. We understand that. Black women, women are emotional, so they don't understand it. So when somebody playing Keisha face, playing DeAndre face, they don't know how to play the role and just play the game and laugh it off and just put their head down and just keep rising. They got to say something. They can't just shut the fuck up. They got to say something. They got to call it out. They got to start an argument. They got to get belligerent. They got to check them. They got to be nasty. We know how to check motherfuckers at the proper place and time. We know how to check them, and we know how to operate within corporate America and the international business and how to keep our jobs longer. They got to call bullshit out. They got to call every little thing out. And you're not going to survive long as an entrepreneur, as a boss, as an employee, as a team leader, as a manager, as a regular 9 to 5, of a 1099 employee. You're not going to last long if you call out every little all the bullshit. It's a fact. It's a fact. That's why they're not getting hired. And a lot of them put their eggs into the government jobs. And they'll be back after 3 more years. You know what I'm saying? They'll be back once the orange man gone. He said Boost needs. Okay, I read that one. He said the amount of damage they've done to the Ortiz brand. Ortiz did it to herself. Every time, shout out to stories of Yonko. Every time his dad, even years ago, they would ask his dad about fighting threats and guys that people wanted to see him as. We ain't doing that. They destroyed their own brand. Can't blame Rick. Can't blame Oscar. Can't blame Eric. Can't blame Golden Boy. Blame Vergil Ortiz. He's a pussy, man. He's his own man. Even Robert Garcia came out and was like, I don't know why they ain't fought for a title, because they pussies. I keep telling you that. They don't believe. They only fight guys who've shown they can be beaten. Exactly. And the guys they shown, like Bokachuk, who had already been knocked out by Brandon Adams, he lost that fight. And versus Madrimov, he lost that fight too. He said, get the weasel promoters and fake weak boxers. And that's what they have to do. That's what's happening. They'd rather kill the sport than step up and be a man. And if you step up and be a man, you're going to make more money. So why would you want to fight a guy who hasn't been in the ring 3 years? He talking about that's his dream fight. Shout out to Tom Bidge. Y'all go subscribe. That's his dream fight. Like, fuck out of here, man. He said, right, and they really trying to convince us it's not a big fight. It won't sell, bro. Vergil Ortiz don't sell in Vegas, don't sell in the Ryan Garcia backyard, don't sell in his backyard. He don't sell. The Golden Boy events are trash. That's why they allow any and everybody to come cover their events, because don't nobody care about Golden Boy, bro. And exactly, it's the Bud effect. It's definitely the Bud effect. These dudes, bro. What Bud did to Canelo, bro. They're going to avoid that shit. Vergil not even popular in his own city, let alone state. Exactly. He ain't even popular in his household, man. Come on. He didn't act like Fondor Ortiz, some big fight. Them tickets will barely sell. And that's exactly what I'm saying. The only way you can rationalize that is, well, let us get a belt. But you'll have multiple years to get the belt. Let's be real. Jaron Ennis just got to the division. Shout out to Russell Reed. He just got to the division. He said, Thompson, where's the criticism for De La Hoya threatening to sue somebody like they did Devin Haney? And that's true. And he threatened to sue the manager. He threatened to sue Vergil Ortiz's manager, somebody he set up with after Vergil Ortiz defeated Erickson Lubin. Oscar De La Hoya is always threatening to sue somebody. Moist ass. He said, they said Boots isn't a big name as Earl. Earl ain't even a name no more, man. Earl is an afterthought. Earl is not a Hall of Famer at this point. You know, Earl is just, you know, he's still popular in Texas, and I think people respect him for putting his strapping his nuts on and fighting Bud. But he isn't even a big name at this point. Nobody gonna buy that fight. The media just gonna go to the fight. Earl Spence is done, man. Black people will take over, and they know it. Black people will take over the pool. Black people will take over everything. Volleyball, if niggas wanted to do it, they priced black people out of baseball. And I don't even talk. I'm talking about on the junior level. Ask anybody that's in baseball. I had my little homie come on, little Quan, his dad come on. He started off boxing. He's really good at baseball, and his dad will tell you how much that shit costs. You know, he invests into his son. How much that shit cost? I already know. I ain't even never talked to him about it, but I already know how much that baseball that they be doing and all the shit that they've been through. They don't want, but baseball is one of the more funner sports to play. To keep it real. You know, football is cool. You know, basketball is cool, but it ain't nothing. I ain't too many more sports funner than baseball to play. Every kid can play baseball, you know, and you're going to have a good time on a small level. It's a good time, you know, and the reason why a lot of baseball players face injuries is because they don't physically keep themselves up. If you physically keep yourself up in baseball, you can play into your 40s. You can be Cal Ripken. You know, you can play into your 40s. But a lot of them motherfuckers, because it's not really a physical demand, you know, outside if you steal bases or you a center fielder or you an outfielder. Other than that, really, when you playing like, you know, if you a fat out of shape motherfucker like Prince Fielder, you know, they put you somewhere they can hire you as a DH, you know, a first baseman. You know, those are the positions they get when motherfuckers ain't that talented. Throw a nigga on first base, you know, throw him on second or third. But the real talented, you know, the catchers, shortstop, shortstop, you got to fill that gap. You know, the outfield, you know, those are the real athletes. When you start talking about Bo Jackson running up the wall, we were talking about the guys that steal bases, the Deons, the Bo Jacksons, those are the real athletes when you just start talking about outside of swinging the bat and pitching, because you got to have reflexes to pitch too, because you get your head knocked off if you move out the way. But the catcher, the shortstop, the center fielder, the outfielders, those are the true athletes in baseball. You got to be in some type of shape and have hand-eye coordination. But they hide you a DH, they hide you at the first, second, third base. They hide the motherfuckers. But the real skill is the pitchers, the catchers, the shortstop, and the outfield. You know what I mean? And alumni be paying for base. Yeah, the powers that be pay for it. Brad, Brad be paying for it. You know what I'm saying? Russell Weed, he said we have to take way more shit off these companies to survive in corporate. It's the fullest. Yeah, they want to get a rise out of you, man. And when you good at your job, they try to knock you off even more, bro. That's a fact. When you good at your job, this is why most black men prefer to work in solitary, bro. That's why you prefer to niggas that be. I was listening to a brother. He was on a brother Tiasan Johnson channel, and he did a stream about a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about he had a couple brothers come on who remained anonymous because they had pending cases about workplace harassment, and one of the brothers was telling this story. He had took a job, he transferred to Atlanta, and he was in IT, and he worked in the server room, and he said, he would lead the server room. I think they might have gave him a new job, and he met a woman, and they would never see him. He would go in the server room, and that was his job. He met a particular woman. I think she was of Asian descent, and she asked him to have lunch or whatever. They had lunch, and then he said the next day or a week later or something like that, he was called into the office, and he thought, he didn't think nothing of it. And the lady said he sexually harassed him. It was a brother. When he was in that server room, doing his thing, he was good. This is why most brothers they start their own companies, or they prefer to start working with each other, because once you show that you can do a job and you're good at doing your job, people are jealous on the job, bro. People are jealous on the job, bro. And if you don't know how to really read it, or you don't know how to play it, you don't know how to, you don't know how to play it, bro, they'll play victim. They'll play victim. The next thing you know, you punch a motherfucker and you going to jail, you losing your job. So yeah, this is why a lot of dudes, they do anything not to work, because a lot of times it's a quick way to go to jail, because how they be playing it, dog. They be playing in niggas' faces, and everybody don't really have the discipline or the wherewithal how to play it. You just gotta learn how to play it, bro. That passive aggressive shit they be doing, you gotta learn how to play it. Ortiz been a dub. Remember, he ran from Terrence Crawford. Yep, him and Jaron Ennis. Ortiz would knock Earl out. Earl's done, bro. Rather Ortiz fight Jamel than Earl. Jamel pricing himself out. Remember, he told Jaron Boots Ennis, we tried to fight Jamel Charlo, but remember he said he priced himself out. Hardy won $5 million. He said he ain't worth $5 million neither. They only decided to start bringing up Fondor now. Yeah, they've been the interim champion for years with Fondor, and Fondor is still fighting Keith Thurman. He just did an interview. Keith Thurman just did an interview. Keith Thurman just did an interview. I didn't know he wasn't getting trained by his regular trainer no more, because the dude ended up getting too old, so he got a new trainer. I didn't even peep that in his last fight. So I didn't even peep that. I forget. Dan Birmingham. He like 70. So he did an interview with the Ring. That's what I was watching. So he basically they said they told him to stay ready. They told him to stay ready for Sebastian Fondor. I'm pretty much guessing they might pair that up with Shaq Ram and Rolly. Hey, old buddy though, that Jaime and Canelo duck, Slay Iglesias, that motherfucker problem. He a problem. That motherfucker kind of remind me of Sean Porter. Not just, he throw a lot of hooks. You know what I'm saying? 6'3", he throw a lot of hooks. That O'Shea Iglesias IBF dude, yeah, I wouldn't want to fight that nigga neither. He ain't no Lara. I'm gonna do a breakdown on him on the Patreon real soon. He ain't no Lara, no Riggin. That motherfucker looking to knock niggas out. He beat up Morale in the amateurs. Yeah, he throwing heat. Hey, low key, and I said this in one of my videos. I think I said it in a Beaver video. 168 pounds got the most exciting fighters. I'm gonna call it right now. Remember, I said that 168 pounds, they got the most exciting fighters in boxing. I promise you that. It ain't a division that got more exciting fighters than the 168 pound division. I put my boxing word on it. I put my word on it. It ain't. Let me look here. Mbili, we already seen him and Lester Martinez. Munguia is exciting, right? And then you throw this Osalis Iglesias in. Dog, them four are the most exciting fighters in boxing right now. Caleb Plant might as well pack it up. He done. Jamal Charlo, he cannot compete with them dudes, bro. Salis, Mbili, Lester Martinez, pack them up. Diego Pacheco, he got a long way to go. He fight one of them right now. They putting him in the pine box. You know what I'm saying? Them motherfuckers all niggas that's at this division. Berlanga, Jamal, shit, even Munguia gonna get ran over. Canelo, he needs to stay away from them niggas, man. Hazmat Shiraz, he can't do shit with them niggas, man. Mbili, Martinez, and Osley Iglesias, I put that on. I put my word on it, bro. I put my word on it, dog. If they get him a fair fade, bro, them three are the most exciting fighters in boxing, bro. I put my word on it, bro. I broke down Osley Iglesias. I got a video coming. I broke them down. You seen Martinez. You seen him. It's a good division right here. It's a real good. This is one of the better. I'm calling it right now. It's one of the better divisions in boxing. I put my word on it. You throw in, them old ass niggas like Caleb Plant, Canelo, Jamal Charlo, Shiraz. I like Shiraz though. Diego Pacheco. Even throw a dude boring ass William Skull in there. Berlanga, Caleb Plant. Who else you got in here? And some of these other dudes I don't know, but man, they got solid guys. The Armando dude, I don't know how good he is. I did watch him beat Plant. I really wasn't impressed. But Mbili, Martinez, Jose Iglesias, Munguia, Canelo, Shiraz, Plant, Jamal Charlo, Diego Pacheco, Bruno Sars. He got a raw deal. Berlanga, they got a solid 10, 11 guys. Telling you, man, it's one of the best divisions in boxing, bro. I'm telling you that right now. That's one of the best divisions in the sport of boxing right here. You got a bunch of old niggas that's ready to get packed up. You got a bunch of young guys on the rise, bro. I put my word on it, bro. Let me see where I left off at. He said he had a year and a half to push for. Okay, I read that one. Shout out to Skating Con. He said Keon the Juice Man Davis is back February 14th. That motherfucker, where he fighting at? He back in. He on Valentine's Day. He can't get his ass whooped on Valentine's Day. He said Shiraz Pacheco is supposed to be fighting for the WBO title. I mean, I have to pick him in my opinion. Shiraz, I feel like he lost to Adames. And I know he fighting Ammo Williams on. Is it the card 30 on October 31st? And Plant Charlo is supposed to be on that card 31st. Honestly, if you got any other questions, I'll answer real quick. I'm about to go live on the Detroit channel. If y'all you want to tap in after this, right after this. They're supposed to be fighting for the WBO title. I mean, it's a good fight. Shiraz need to get that title, need to run it back with Carlos Adames. But overall, man, Oscar been showing his colors, man. But we need to get all these promoters out and just need to, get new blood in. They had years to get this together. Damn, we got playoff football on today. Do we? Yeah, we do. I'll give you my picks if y'all ain't seen my videos. I really want to pick the Panthers over the Rams, but I like the Rams, the Packers. Damn, hey man, they stumped the fuck out of my Detroit brethren yesterday in Oregon. Dante Moore. They beat the shit out of Indiana, beat the shit out of them. I turned it on and turned it off. But shout out to Indiana, man. They always play Michigan tough through the years. So give me the Rams, the Packers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the San Francisco 49ers. Give me the the Patriots, and give me Houston. I think I picked Houston. They got them niggas playing on Monday night. Golly, the NFL just need to quit it, bro. The NFL need to quit it, man. They need to stay off Christmas. I agree with them niggas. They need to stay off Christmas. And just they doing too much. You shouldn't have to play a Monday night game in the playoff. They destroying the brand, bro, just by being too greedy, bro. It should be 3 games. It should be 3 games on tonight, today. It should be in 3 games on Sunday. Well, I guess it is. Yeah. I mean, that whole Monday night shit, having a playoff team play Monday night, I feel like that's disrespectful, bro. I really do. I feel like that shit disrespectful, man. NFL need to quit it. When they go back and see how the NFL, fell from prominence, they're gonna turn around and they're gonna look like they oversaturated the market. Football should be played Sunday, and the premier game should be Monday night. As simple as that. We don't need Thursday. We don't need Christmas, and on Thanksgiving, Sunday, and Monday night. That's when football should be played. That's it. That's it, man. But hey, that's all I had, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the link tree. Join me everywhere. Peace.